I don't lie. I am relieved that Erika Kirk is at the head of Turning Point USA.
She should have never become the CEO and chairman overnight.
Erika Kirk, man, she really is just the moment. So stunning. It's just unmatched. I can just look at people and I just catch a vibe and I'm like, I remember meeting Erika and she was just lovely, genuinely such a nice person. And I was like, Charlie, just go for it. It is the general tone that is off-putting, and my only ground rule is no assassinations. It's accident, okay? We'll be right back. And my husband's dead, not to be morbid. That is a sentence that, and I just kept asking him to replay it over and over and over again. Just thought she would be more upset.
You're not just a grieving widow.
That's what it means to step into a company of that size and that scale. The overall mood of this call, Erika Kirk, I could see the energy is extraordinarily upbeat. She's gonna fight. She's gonna fight, and she is going to fight on the good side. Where it comes from, I'm gonna explain the happiness I feel. It comes from peace. This is a faithful couple because we're witnessing the gospel. This is a woman who consulted a priest and prayed. My assumption was that, so I can't even imagine what it feels like. I assumed she couldn't get out of bed. She's gonna fight. I assumed that she couldn't pick her head up. She's gonna fight. That she was in the office every day. She's gonna fight. So what I had imagined in my head was happening, it's too much. Simply was not so. I can't stop reading conspiracies. It never stops. I'm just reminding us all to just have a little bit of grace, is all. No, I reject it. I reject that 100%. All of this makes my skin crawl.
Is this hat not everything? Fashion Nova, $12.99. Howdy other neighbors, welcome back to my channel. My name is Edie. I only have 7 minutes left to talk to you. At least kick this off. No time for funny stories. I almost went sliding into oncoming traffic on my road. Anyway, because the ice hasn't melted, and I don't understand because it was 17 degrees earlier and it should have melted by now. Okay, let's react to Candy from yesterday. Another level. I'm gonna figure out how to just drop it on my X feed, but I wanna make sure that we properly and fairly contextualize it. So we're not being choosy, we're not cutting this for drama. The obvious point of this call to set this up is to introduce Erika, which is she's a new leader. I'm not even introducing, she's just heading up this call, but obviously she's gonna be at the helm of this, so they're getting to know her. And she does begin the call by being thankful to the entire Turning Point USA team for their work at the memorial event. So let's take a listen.
Hi, everybody. I still love all these emoji Zoom things. Wow. I don't even know where to begin. The fact that we were able to pull off an event of a century, like, it's just insane. We had over 275,000 people that attended, and the stadium, overflow, Westgate, insane, you guys. And then you have, was it 100 million? You guys that heard the gospel and all about Charlie and all about everything that you guys do, and the hard work of Turning Point USA is insane. We had thousands that were registered to vote. I think we're at like over 200,000 for merch sales. Don't quote me on that because I think it just keeps like bumping up like crazy. But I just wanted to say a huge thank you to the events team, the development team, the graphic design team, the production team. Just phenomenal. Their incredible work of leading into the memorial. And honestly, a lot of the staff that worked on the memorial, they had 20-hour days for a week during the time of us grieving the loss of my husband. And honestly, I know several staff that didn't even sleep. Again, you guys are breathing angels. And I'm so grateful for all of you. And obviously a huge thank you to the Mosaic team. VI, you guys are 10 out of 10. Like we have the most incredible team. We just do. And you guys know that, and you guys are all a part of that. And I'm so thankful. And if you do have a moment and you run into any of those staff members that you know had a role in this, and you know that they put a lot of their time and effort into it, just say thank you. There's something really special to be seen in moments like this. And it's not easy. I'm speaking from experience. I'm right in the trenches with you guys. And so the fact that a simple thank you. I don't care if any of you have beef with each other from the past or have any issues with someone said something about this or that. Like, if you guys have any of that, please put it to rest. My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead. And it puts life into perspective of how short life is and relationships, and God puts people in your life for a reason, and it teaches you a lesson, it teaches them a lesson. So if you are going through a time where, just lay it to rest, and we are moving forward, Turning Point USA 2.0 with Charlie in our hearts, and that's what he would want.
Okay, so I'm just looking at the chat here, and you guys are responding live in the way that I felt live listening to this. It is the general tone that is off-putting. It's the laughter that is off-putting. It's, again, we are not even 2 weeks after watching your husband be assassinated. We're talking about numbers and metrics that have been hit. And my husband's dead, not to be morbid. That is a sentence that and this was not my husband, and I had no sort of the type of relationship that she had with him that I was able to utter. Least of all, that's moving pretty quickly to the acceptance phase. Now, we know everybody grieves differently. In my imagination, I just thought she would be more upset. And I want to be clear, the overall mood of this call is extraordinarily upbeat. It's extraordinarily happy. But of course, as the CEO and chairman, she does have to address the elephant in the room, the morbid elephant in the room, if you will, because it's an obligation.
Let me address the elephant in the room. It's a room. When I was 16, I had to move in with my dad. A lot of stuff happened. I didn't grow up with my dad. Moved in with my dad, my mom. After she had had a stroke, we lost anyway, you know what? Trauma dumping. No time for it. My dad and I, we did not get along. When we would have our fights and he would say, tell me the truth, because he had a really thick accent, it would make me so mad. I would be like, truth! That's how I feel when she says room. It's room! I only have 3 minutes left to talk to you. Erika cannot walk or sit still without getting in trouble from this woman. Now, remember when she showed emotion, Candace came at her and said,
you can't just be a grieving widow. You can't ask us to give you grace. No, sorry, you're the CEO.
Now, and demonstrate strong leadership for her team, she's like,
I expect you to be more upset. I expect you to be more emotional.
Which is it, girlfriend? Secondly, she said, if you have beef with someone, just nix it. Because guess what? My husband is dead. My husband is dead. There's no time in this life to hold grudges, be petty, tit for tat, none of that. That is what she's trying to say. Candace, give me a break. Are you telling me you've never said anything like this in your life? By the way, shut up. As I said in group therapy yesterday, you would plug your husband in just to pull the plug on him. Go into the hospital with a fever and you'd be like,
pull the plug. He would want it this way. Put him out of his misery. Here, give me the syringe. Oxygen in his IV.
That's what you would do. So shut up, girl! Take several seats! Take several seats! Oh, 2 minutes. Shut up, Candace. You just wish that you were the CEO. Oh my word. The amount of times she said,
I thought the band was getting back.
You were never part of the band. Remember Destiny's Child when they first started? You're that one that got kicked out. You were never part of it, really. You couldn't cut it. So now you're forgotten. Remember Family Matters? The little one went upstairs and we never saw her again? That's you. Okay? You are replaceable. Oh, cue Abby Lee Miller.
It's replaceable.
You are replaceable. There was nothing wrong with this Zoom call. Erika is the CEO. Remind Candace that in her own words, she said that she was relieved that Erika was a CEO. She's got an immense amount of pressure on her shoulders. We all need to have grace for her. Okay, Candy, just again, your show is recorded. Everything you say is archived, baby doll. Just take a moment and go through the transcripts. Okay, just a quick Control F. Yay. Not Kanye. Did I say yippee at Erika as a CEO? And then when you realize that, yes, you have said that, then you can tailor your script. All of this is scripted and it's not live. It's so cute that she said,
I'm just responding to live. I'm reading your live comment.
Girl, shut up. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to use any of this, but we will resume.
Want a break?
You watching this?
Employees are working 20-hour days, but also their founder, Charlie, was publicly assassinated less than 2 weeks ago. You got to address that. And you're going to hear her address that by recapping to them that throughout these long working days, the employees were provided with ample resources while they were working. Take a listen.
I'm just grateful that while things were still in motion and moving around, that we had our leadership teams provide for you counselors, pastors. I heard there were therapy dogs. Slightly jealous that I didn't get to have any moment with a therapy dog. Breakfast. I was really adamant about making sure that we paid for your flights for your spouses to be there. That was something on my heart. You don't want to grieve alone. No one's supposed to grieve alone. It's not healthy. But I just think it's a beautiful honor that all of these benefits were made for the community to grieve and remember Charlie. And I really hope you took advantage of those in a healthy way when they were provided, because it's meant to be for everyone for healing. Grief comes in waves. Some days are going to be tougher than others, but take it as it comes. And that's why you have your Turning Point family, and just lean on them and lean on other people in your life that will help you and pour into you and pray with you to get you through it. I say that though, that if you do need more time to grieve, please continue to use Turning Point USA's network of counselors. We have pastors. I mean, there are so many resources for you. If you do need additional time off, please talk to your director about using paid time off for that. And again, it's not easy, but again, grief is hard. Otherwise, honestly, Turning Point USA and Turning Point Action, full steam ahead, you guys. Charlie would want us to get back to work, and that's what we're doing, and that's what we did with the memorial, and I'm so honored and proud of each and every one of you, because that's what we're going to do in his honor and in his name. We have so much to do, which is exciting. Charlie in heaven is like, you guys thought you had a busy schedule, then just you wait, and he's doing some awesome things with Jesus in heaven right now, but there's so much work to be done. I mean, since his assassination, we have 100,000 chapter requests. We have 300,000 new donors. That is a blessing in itself. Again, not normal. All God. I think we have 50,000 plus hat orders to fulfill. I mean, I'm saying these numbers because it puts into perspective that we're not just sitting and thinking and looking at the wall being like, what do we do? Like that, there is so much to do. You have over 20,000 AmFest registrations.
There's a lot happening there, and none of it is what I would be expecting to happen there. So basically what the employees said to me was that they got onto this call and everyone's exhausted, everyone's working, they pull off this massive memorial. And then there's kind of this approach where it's like, well, if you guys need paid time off, like Charlie's in heaven dancing, wanting you to work harder. He's just up there like, you better work, but you can use the paid time off that you have earned, by the way, if you need to grieve more. But imagine you're the employer, like, hey, well, this is his wife saying this. So am I weird? I would be pretty weird if I needed to take time off and his wife is saying she's full steam ahead. That's the mentality they had. Like, how are we supposed, like, are we weird for wanting to grieve? Is that not the vibe? How can we take paid time off when Erika's wife is saying full steam ahead? It's very strange. It is even kind of using this idea of Charlie being in heaven, looking down, and the laughter. I don't know. I feel like the rest of you. I feel comfortable. And of course, now what we're going to listen to is her pivot to the future vision, because that's what the bulk of this is about. And it's going to consist of the notebooks that I keep telling you the public is never going to see. Apparently, what I gather from this is that Charlie presented to the staff a vision for 2025, but Erika is going to say that there was a vision beyond that, all the way to 2030. And there's a project 2030. And then she's going to kind of want to say that she's happy, but then catch herself realizing that would be kind of weird to say that she's happy. Take a listen.
The prophetic mind of my husband was that he always planned for the future. You guys are obviously aware of like Vision 2025, but Charlie was also working on Vision 2030 in the weeks leading up to September 10th. And he was working really closely with Justin. And that's why Justin had been appointed the role of COO, because he was literally, I remember phone calls when Charlie and I would take our night walks, and it would be 10 o'clock at night. And him and Justin would just be talking about the plans. I was aware of the plans. I have his journals that are aware of the plans. Like, there is no confusion of what's to come. And I want to give you guys that reassurance that it's full steam ahead. And the board and I are working with Justin and the executive leadership teams to make sure that all of those plans come into effect 2030 and beyond. But I, again, am so grateful for all of you. I'm so proud of all of you. You honor my husband so well. All of you do. And it's weird to say I'm excited. I really hesitate saying that. It's really hard for me to say that. It's a really weird thing to say, but I think it comes from a space of peace, knowing that God's using this and we're humbly witnessing the gospel in real time.
I don't know what to say. Just want to say she's happy. I don't want to say I'm happy, but where it comes from, I'll explain the happiness. I feel it comes from peace because we're witnessing the gospel in real time. All of this makes my skin crawl. It genuinely makes my skin crawl. I'm going to go ahead and say that. You can go find your commentator who's going to tell you everybody grieves differently. Nope, that is less than 2 weeks after Charlie was publicly assassinated. That doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel right to, I would say, the majority of people, or that doesn't feel right. Knowing that they're joyous at dinners. And again, this is when people who did not know Charlie could not stop crying and were sending me emails. Who've never met Charlie, who didn't even know what Turning Point USA was, because they watched his assassination, could not stop crying and pull themselves together. That is not the emotion that we're getting there. Like I said, the entire call is upbeat. And the portions where we are even speaking about grief, it feels like an obligation. Like, hey, you got the dogs, and what Charlie wants is for you to work now. And that is how the employees I've spoken to who were on that call, that's how they felt. My assumption, by the way, why I'm addressing this now is because my assumption, watching everything that's going on, my assumption was that she really was trying to figure things out. I assumed in the silence, right? She wasn't doing interviews then. I assumed she couldn't get out of bed. I assumed that she couldn't pick her head up. And I felt that people were being unfair in judging outfits and in judging whether or not they liked how her hair was done. I said, okay, she's speaking at the, we expect her to speak at the memorial event. I felt the public was being unfair. Now that we're kind of getting more on the inside organization, the now fired employees are telling me no, it was quite the opposite. She was in the office every day with Stacey Sheridan, running around with Stacey Sheridan, taking phone calls with Stacey Sheridan. That's like the head of the fundraising for Turning Point USA. So what I had imagined in my head was happening simply was not so.
How could she show up for her team? I have never heard such atrocity. She told them to take advantage of their PTO and their bereavement time. She brought in therapy dogs. She flew out their spouses. This has to stop, said no one ever. This is quite embarrassing. Well, I can't understand the peace because you were of your father, the devil, and he doesn't know peace. Erika is the peace of the Lord. The peace only he can provide. It goes beyond reason and understanding. So I don't expect you to know about that. Okay. Also, you say we're never going to see the journals. We will never see the Egyptian plane raw data. You expected her to behave differently? That's funny. Beginning of all this, when you thought that the band was getting back together, you said that she was inspiring, that her speech was the most important in history. Topping the Sermon on the Mount, called for grace to be given to this woman because she's doing her very best. So sad that you can see Candace, she's really trying to spin it as a negative, but it can't stop being a positive. So that Erika's telling them and encouraging them to take more time to grieve if they need it, but they would just feel too bad that they would need to take it. Isn't that a testament to the character of Erika? Take as much time as you need. Take as much time as you need. I'll be here making sure that the ship stays afloat, but you take time. is what you call a servant's heart, something you would know nothing about. Candy, you're just the embodiment of hypocrisy. How many times have you gone on and on and on and on about how business is business? They keep it going. Don't even believe in maternity leave. You don't believe that people should be paid for being pregnant. They're an employee short, but they're still getting paid for doing nothing. You have said those things. This is a business. Turning Point is a business. People, their livelihood is Turning Point. Their jobs, they have to pay their bills. So, as with any company, if something happens to the top dog, you may have a 1 or 2 day break, but then you've got to get back to business. People are depending on you. Hello, Miss, I work for myself and I'm a CEO, I'm a boss babe. You should know that, right? Please, if somebody were saying these things to you, you'd be looking at them like they had 5 heads. Which is it, girl? What do you want from Erika? I know what you want from her. You want her to have never existed. You want to be in her place. You've always wanted to be her. So you're so miserable in your own life. I mean, maybe if you were wearing one of these hats. What Erika did in saying you got exciting things coming and giving the numbers and giving the stats, she did that to pump up her team, who probably just were all feeling so hopeless and were just being weighed down by the darkness. As a good leader would, she's trying to pump them up and show that what the enemy meant for evil, God will turn to good. She kicked everything off by saying that this is how many people heard the gospel. They may have never heard it. And they got to hear about Charlie. And they started new chapters. And this is what we're working for. So trying to show them all is not lost. And we're going to continue. What would you have wanted her to do? Been a basket case during that Zoom call? Do you want to hear her say?
I just feel like going to the roof and jumping.
Have you ever been in a meeting with a superior and they start falling apart? I have. Oh, if any of my peeps are watching. I remember the manager that took me into a room and I said, "How are you?" And she started to cry and she opened up her notebook and she had tissues in the back. Do you remember that? I'm not going to say her name. That happened many times. This one manager, and I had to be the one to pick her up off the floor and say, we're going to power through because there's no other option. We got to get back out on the floor. Can you get it together? Candy, you said that you assumed Erika was just in a perpetual state of mourning, that she couldn't get out of bed. She wasn't able to do anything. Now, the employees that were let go, shocker, by the way, that you guys were let go. How did that happen? Oh, could it be you have no honor or loyalty or morals? You're going to feed this perverse and rebellious woman information? Why were you even recording the Zoom call? The writing was on the wall for you. And you come to find from these former employees that she was in the office every day and she was taking calls and doing this and doing that. Oh. When you said this, Candace, it reminded me of an interview that Lea Michele did with Ellen after Corey Monteith died. Do you guys remember that? Corey Monteith from Glee. And Lea Michele was on Glee as well, and they were dating, and it was a horrible thing that happened. I remember that very vividly. But it reminded me of this interview. I have a clip of it. We're going to watch it, and then we'll chat again.
You actually had to go back to work on Glee shortly after Corey's passing. Was that good because you were around people that were experiencing similar things, or was it harder? Or?
Yeah, well, Ryan Murphy came to Kate's house and he said, you know, what do you want to do? Whatever you want to do, we'll do. And I said, we have to go back to work. You know, we have to. They're my family. And what people also don't understand is that going to work is no harder than being at home and being in the house and opening up a closet and seeing a pair of shoes. It's like grief goes with you every day, whatever you're doing, when there's great moments, when there's hard moments. So I'd rather, for me, be at work with the people that I love that are going through the same thing. And it obviously has its own triggers, but at the end of the day, I feel so safe there. And they're, like I said, they're my family.
I remember watching that interview with Lea because I was shocked that they went back to work so quickly. Like, how could they go back on set? I would just say, spoiler alert, last year's season finale was actually the series finale. We're not filming anymore. Then I saw this interview with Leah, and she said, going to work is no harder than being at home. I often say to people, you wouldn't see me. My dogs wouldn't see me again. I would be gone. I wouldn't want to see or be around anyone who even knew my person, because it would be too painful. My kids wouldn't even see me. I'm just kidding. Probably. I'm not kidding. Erika probably feels this way. More comforting for her to be at her home away from home, company that Charlie built, be around all of those people. They are her family. I know you think that that's stupid, Candace, but do you not consider your fake Skylar and all of your 5-person staff to be your family? That's sad, you don't? I love the people that I work with. It's not far-fetched. Also, she is the CEO. She's the leader. She's got to show up. So there are a lot of people that depended on Charlie and now depend on her. And to honor her husband, because he is more important to her than anything else, she's going to do what needs to be done. Candace, next time you decide you want to fix your mouth to say something stupid, just do a quick search, which you said beforehand, so that you're not making yourself out to be a liar. The one who said, Erika's great, genuinely a good person. Erika and Charlie loved each other. You said she made Charlie happy. She knew everything about Charlie. He knew everything about her. Those were your words, sister. You got the Holy Spirit spidey senses too. So you would have been able to read her if she were evil. Okay, I'm gonna leave this video here. Tell me what you thought of it. I don't know if Fashion Nova still has this hat, but there are similar hats on Amazon at comparable prices. Let's not live in the macabre. Let's just bury the hatchet. Let's make room for grace. I'm gonna go now. I love you so.